Hello and welcome. Today we're going to do a very special lesson which is very good for improving breathing, but it's especially good to do last thing at night, even in bed, to promote a good night's sleep. Let's have a go. So before proceeding, I highly recommend you have a go practicing some of your most favourite restful feldenkrais movements, paying attention to what you do, or your favourite most restful yoga moves if you want. If you don't know what to do, just check out some of the other videos on the channel. So don't worry if you did not do any of the restful exercises beforehand, but it can be helpful. When you're ready, just lay comfortably on your back. Notice the length of your spine. Bring all your attention to the length of both your legs. Feel how do the legs come out of you from the hip joints. Notice the length of both your arms. And notice how the arms come out of you from the shoulder joints. And then notice how is the quality of your breathing. Observe the quality of your breathing. Pay attention to where and how your breathing moves you. And then so when you're ready, just rub your hands together. Just generate a little bit of heat in your hands. Once you feel your hands are warming up, place the palms of the hands over your eyes. You can have the fingers of one hand on top of the fingers of the other hand. And just take a moment to let your eyes settle right down. Think of the eyes resting deeply and begin to look deep into the background of your eyes. And you may notice just black, you may notice some lights like blue, white or some colours. And try and focus more and more on what's black and what's very, very dark in the background. Notice what sensations you feel as you do that. And you can spend a good minute or two or even longer exploring that. And then once you've explored that enough, rest your arms beside yourself. So for the next few steps we're going to do some more interesting things with the hands, but just before that, bring your attention to your breathing again, and with each inhalation, allow or imagine your nostrils expanding. And that in turn will also have an effect on the nasal passages expanding, the throat expanding more. It will encourage the lungs to expand a little bit more, helping us to breathe much nicer. So pay attention to that for several breaths. Once you've finished exploring that, place the palms of your hands on your lower belly, just below where your belly button is. And you can have the tips of the forefingers and middle fingers touching or nearly touching. It's important your elbows will be resting on the floor, the mat or on the bed. And if they don't touch, it doesn't matter if they're a little separate, that's fine. And as you inhale in this way, thinking of the expansion you feel for yourself, feel the tips of the fingers coming a little apart. And as you breathe out, feel the tips of those fingers gently coming closer together. And with each exhalation, really take lots of time to let everything out. And with each inhalation, really take your time to slowly breathe in. Make sure you're breathing in a very comfortable pace, but put emphasis on really taking your time. And just have a good rest. Put your arms beside yourself, close your eyes. Notice any sensations you feel. It could be something different, maybe in your breathing. Maybe you feel some new movement in your lower abdomen where your hands were a moment ago. And you can rest as long as you like. Again, take lots of good quality time to slowly breathe in. Think of your nostrils expanding, the nasal passages, the throat and the lungs expanding. And take lots of time to slowly breathe out, letting everything go. So now you can place your hands, so the palms of the hands are where the lower ribs are, and you can allow the middle fingers to come towards each other. Again, don't worry if they don't touch each other, somewhere where it feels comfortable for you. Do exactly the same breathing again. Just take your time to slowly inhale. Again, think of the tips of the nostrils expanding, along with everything else mentioned before. As you exhale, feel what happens. Take your time to slowly breathe out, letting everything go. And you can spend a good few minutes on that. Once you've explored that enough, just rest your arms. And again, just take a moment to be with your sensation. And the next step, you can place the palms of your hands on the outsides of the lower ribs. Find a way to become comfortable here, and when you're ready, again, really take your time. Take a nice inhalation in, take all the time you need. Think of the tips of the nostrils, the nasal passages, the throat and the lungs, all gently expanding. As you exhale, really take your time, feel what contracts. And with your hands there, really sense and feel what moves and how do you move. And once you've explored that for a few minutes, again, settle down for a very good rest. So for the next step, you can have your elbows in line with your shoulders. And you can imagine you're holding a stick, and very softly just take that imaginary stick over the top of your head, and very slowly and softly bring that stick gently down, and repeat this movement several times, really very slowly. Focus on how the arms rotate deep in the shoulder joints as you do it, and you can really take your time with this. You can do little tiny movements in different places. Make it nice, soft, easy and pleasant. Once you feel you've explored this enough, gently bring the hands down and see if you can slide the hands somewhere under your lower ribs with the palms facing down. And again, really take your time to breathe here. Really focus on your exhalations. Notice what movement gradually comes to your hands with each exhalation. And as you begin to observe what happens around your hands as you breathe, you may notice movement in other places, maybe between the shoulders or somewhere else. Once you feel you've explored that enough, again you can just have a good rest. When you've explored this movement enough with your eyes, please just gently let your hands rest on your upper chest, somewhere below your collarbones, and you can bring the tips of the middle fingers together or near each other. Make sure your elbows are somewhere comfortable. Tune into your breathing in the same way, noticing with the tips of the middle fingers gently come apart, and when they gently come closer together again, you can spend several minutes on this. After you've done that enough, the next step, place your hands back on the eyes, cover your eyes, and with the eyes closed again, look deep into the background of your eyes. Notice maybe if anything's changed in the background, maybe it feels darker, blacker or different in some way. Just notice what you see, and when you find the dark black spot, focus in on that and try and find some way to allow that space to get bigger and bigger, to really spread this kind of blackness deep into the background of your eyes. The more black you see in the background, the quieter your nervous system will become. Once you've explored that enough, put your arms beside yourself. Again, notice the length of your spine, the length of your arms, the length of both your legs. Tune into your breathing. And when you listen to your breathing, can you feel all those places moving where you had your hands before? What feels different in how your breath moves you now? And you can observe your breathing as long as you need to, or have fun and just fall asleep. Thank you. Oh, come over here. Thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and feel free to leave any comments or suggestions for future videos. Take care and I wish you all the very best.